You're 19. You don't volunteer. You're visited. A man in a gray coat comes to your university. He sits across from you in a small room with no nameplate on the door. He says it isn't a request. He calls it civic participation. Your file has flagged certain associations. Your roommate reads foreign books. Your professor quotes unapproved economists. They need someone attentive, reliable, patriotic. You say yes. There's no other answer. Your first assignment is simple. Report anything unusual. Not accusations, just observations. You write your first note in 3 days. Your roommate received a package from his cousin in Leningrad. You don't know what was inside. You write it down anyway. He's questioned the following week. He returns quieter. He stops leaving notes on the table. You stop making eye contact. Months pass. You write more notes. You get better at noticing. You stop calling it informing. You call it awareness. The gray coat man tells you there's a next step. You don't ask what it is. In this system, asking questions is its own kind of answer.
Level 2, the junior officer. You're 23. You're given a desk, a badge, a number, not a name, on internal documents. You complete 14 months of training, surveillance techniques, behavioral analysis, interrogation theory, document forgery. You learn to follow a subject for 3 hours without being seen. You learn that most people betray themselves before they betray anyone else. They hesitate. They look back. They change their route for no reason. You're assigned to monitor a factory engineer who attended a private gathering. 9 people were present. You document them all. Their habits, their routes, their contacts. 3 of the 9 are reassigned within a month. You don't know what happened at that gathering. You don't ask. Your supervisor reviews your reports and circles one phrase in red. Subject appeared uncertain. You had meant it as a neutral observation. He says, good instinct. You're given a second case the next morning. You work both simultaneously. You learn something early. The job doesn't require guilt. It requires attention. And attention becomes habit. And habit becomes identity. Level 3, the field agent. You're 27. You operate outside. Your cover is a trade union administrator. You attend meetings, sign forms, drink bad tea. No one knows your real employer. That's the point. You're assigned to a dissident network, loose and cautious, but active. Writers, academics, a former party member who stopped believing. You build a contact slowly. 6 months of low-stakes conversations. You listen more than you speak. You remember everything. One contact trusts you enough to show you a manuscript, typewritten, 200 pages, circulated in samizdat, literary criticism on the surface, political corrosion underneath. You photograph it over 2 nights. You submit the film without reading the last 80 pages. The author is arrested 9 days later. You're not present for any of it. That's standard. Distance is operational protocol. Your handler tells you the network is dismantled. Good work. You feel nothing specific. Feeling specific things is a liability. Your next cover is a librarian in Minsk. You move on a Tuesday. You don't say goodbye to anyone. There's no one to say goodbye to.
Level 4, the Interrogator. You're 31. You work in a building with no exterior signage. You park in an underground lot. You ride a separate elevator. The rooms downstairs have no windows. Subjects sit across a table. You sit with a folder. The folder is sometimes empty. They don't know that. You're taught that the most effective interrogation produces no evidence of interrogation, no marks, no dates on the transcript, no record of how many hours passed. Sleep deprivation isn't listed as a technique, it's listed as scheduling variance. You work a man for 11 days. He's an engineer accused of passing technical specifications to a foreign contact. He may have, he may not have. That distinction is above your clearance. Your job is assigned confession. By day 4, he signs documents he hasn't read. By day 9, he signs everything. By day 11, he thanks you. You close the folder. His name goes to tribunal. You don't attend. You're assigned a new room, a new folder, a new name. You stop learning the names. Names slow you down. The work doesn't require knowing the person. The work requires understanding what they want to believe about themselves.
Level 5, the station chief. You're 37. You run a regional bureau, 40 officers, 3 active networks, hundreds of informants who don't know about each other. You manage flows of information, not information itself. Everything is coded, summarized, classified, and filtered before it reaches you. You approve operations. You sign disbursements. You have a car, an apartment with a second bedroom, a telephone line that gets answered. Once a month, you travel to Moscow for a coordination meeting. The building on Lubyanka Square is larger than you imagined the first time. Now it feels ordinary. At one meeting, a station chief you've known for 4 years isn't present. Nobody asks. You understand the absence is the message. That night, you review your last 6 months of reports. You look for anything that could be misread upward. A surveillance lapse, an informant who went quiet, a target who moved before you moved first. You find 3 entries that concern you. You edit the summaries, not falsification, precision. You've learned that your reports aren't just operational records. They're your autobiography. Write it carefully.
Level 6, the department head. You're 43. You oversee 6 directorates: counterintelligence, technical surveillance, foreign assets, internal security, records, and a 6th directorate with no listed function in official documentation. You have a driver, a dacha outside Moscow, and access to a floor of Lubyanka that requires a secondary badge clearance. You attend briefings with generals and party officials. You brief the party, once. You brief party members, often. Nobody briefs the party more than once without adjustment. A peer, department head, foreign operations, 14-year veteran, is removed after a defection in Vienna. He didn't cause the defection. He oversaw the person who supervised the person who missed the signs. That's enough. Accountability is architectural. It flows upward until it finds someone useful to stop at. You're asked to review his department in interim. You do. You restructure it. You fill 2 positions with people loyal to your directorate. Nobody announces this as expansion. Nobody needs to. You understand now that power isn't accumulated in actions. It's accumulated in who you put in the room when you leave it.
Level 7, the deputy director. You're 50. There are 3 people between you and the director, then 2, then 1. You're not sure if this is promotion or exposure. You attend daily briefings at the highest classification level. You read reports about allied governments, opposition figures in 14 countries, internal party fractures, surveillance of other surveillance agencies. You know things that would end careers, governments, lives. That knowledge isn't power, it's obligation. If you know and say nothing, you're complicit. If you know and say something, you're dangerous. You say only what's asked, not more. A deputy director 2 levels above you makes an assessment that contradicts a party line. He's not removed, he's lateraled. Cultural attaché, Bucharest. It's a longer sentence than prison. At a private dinner, a general leans over and says, "You've lasted because you understand the difference between intelligence and opinion." You nod. You don't ask which one he thinks you provide. Some questions are tests. The correct answer is silence. Your name is on a shortlist for director. You are told this indirectly, by someone who would know. You sleep worse after that.
Level 8, the director. You're 55. The building is yours. Not officially, not on documents, but the building is yours. 480,000 employees, domestic networks in every republic, every major institution, every significant industry, foreign assets in 60 countries, technical surveillance of every senior party official, including the ones who appointed you, especially the ones who appointed you. Your relationship with the General Secretary is functional, mutual. He needs intelligence, you need legitimacy. Neither of you trusts the other. Both of you require the other to function. This is called loyalty. You manage the information that reaches him, not by withholding, by framing. The same event can be a provocation, an incident, or a minor irregularity, depending on whose name is attached to the summary. You attach names carefully. 3 years in, a purge begins inside the party. Not your purge, you didn't initiate it, but files you produced were used to shape it. That's the same thing. 2 ministers fall. 1 general is moved. The general secretary grows more dependent on your assessments. That should feel like security. It feels like standing closer to the edge of something. The system you built watches everything, including you. It always has.